Hello YouTube. Today we're going to take a look at recapping a Sega Game Gear. I bought this from eBay. I think it was about £25. Unfortunately the screen, you have to hold it at an angle before you can see it, and there is no sound. Generally when that happens it's the capacitors that are away on them, so I purchased a little capacitor kit from eBay, so we'll go ahead and we'll install these to it, replacing the old ones. I would like to give a shout out to our friends over at PCBWay for kindly sponsoring this week's video. PCBWay is a place to go to bring your projects to life. There's a whole host of services including PCB assembly, CNC and 3D printing. You can also check out the vast community where you can share and look at other users' projects. PCBWay are also celebrating their 9th anniversary with a host of promotions. Over in this section of the site you'll find a lot of promotions and coupons. It's not to be missed. We'll go ahead and disassemble the console now. So I've got 6 screws I need to remove from the case, and also one there which is what's called a game bit. It's a type of security screw. When we're opening up the console, just be careful because there's 2 boards connected. We'll disconnect them so we can split it in half. There's actually 3 cables connected. There's one there, and one here. There we are. The capacitor kit came with a nice diagram. Shows us where they all go and the values of them. So that'll come in really handy. It was a nice touch for them to include that. I've had similar kits in the past and they just give you a pile of capacitors and you have to figure it out for yourself, so that's a nice touch. We'll put this one aside and we'll start with this side, and we shall attempt the soundboard first. So we just have to remove the shielding here. And now we'll remove the board itself as it's easier to work on. There we have it, that's a soundboard. There appears to be 5 capacitors on that. So first thing we'll do is remove the old ones and prepare the board to put the new ones on. what I'm going to do is put a little bit of Captain tape around the plastic connectors here to prevent any accidents with them. Unfortunately, I seem to have pulled up one of the pads. I didn't really seem to have much of a chance because it was all corroded. There is, however, a tiny little bit of pad left, so hopefully it should be enough to fix one of the capacitors too. So now we'll go ahead and we'll tin the pads ready for the new capacitors. And there we are, that's the soundboard done. I actually made that a lot more difficult than it should have been. The board is sliding around. I need to buy a jig for future videos because it's making the task a lot more difficult than it should have been really. One of the capacitors here, one of the pads was pulled up because it was that badly corroded due to the leaking capacitor. I managed to get a tiny connection onto it, so hopefully it should be okay. It's not the neatest job, but hopefully it should work. So that's the soundboard now done. These capacitors here, they're actually stuck to the board, so you need to pull them up a little bit, just be very gentle, just to displace the glue on them. Then we can remove them. I think I'm going to use hot air again for this, rather than the soldering iron to remove them. So let's go ahead and do that. This one here is too close to the connector. It'll probably end up melting it, so I'm just going to gently move that up and down till it breaks off. and then I'll remove the legs from it. I think that'll be the better option for that one. It's not ideal doing this, but as I say, I don't want to damage this connector here. There we are. Not damaged any of the pads, so that's successful. Now what we'll do is we'll clean up all the pads and prepare them for the new capacitors. So that's all the capacitors replaced. It's not the nicest job, but it's quite an awkward area to work in. I've got another console there it needs done, but I think next time I'm going to actually try the surface mount capacitors. I think they'll be a lot easier with the microscope, a lot neater as well. So anyway, let's put this together and see if it works. Hopefully it works after all that. Nope, it's not turning on. We're getting a power flash and then it's... Nope, unfortunately it's not turning on. The power light's coming on then going off again. I presume there's probably a short somewhere, so I'm going to put it under the microscope and see if we can find anything. first I thought it might have been the torn trace on the soundboard, but it's not, because I've disconnected the soundboard and we're still getting the problem. Let's see. Okay, it looks like I found what I think the problem might be. With this capacitor here, it looks like the leg is touching the other capacitor, so it actually looks as if it's soldered onto that, so I'm going to fix that and hopefully it will start up after that. So let's go ahead and do that. But that looks a lot better now, so we're going to try that and hopefully this time it works. So unfortunately it looks like it's still got the same issue. We're going to call it a day with this video. I'll still put it out there regardless, but we'll come back to this another time and hopefully we can rectify the issue. Thanks again for watching. Bye bye.